Hey, how's everyone doing? So I just wanted to make a quick video on what exactly I'm looking at for this next week, and maybe it could, give you guys something else to consider when you're looking to trade this week. So this will be what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about DOGE and how I made profit off of a quick flip today and what I was looking for. And I will be continuing to watch DOGE based on its support line here. I'm thinking about setting up a limit buy at 0.024 with about $2,000. Just because we saw insane volatility and now it looks like it's kind of getting steady. So if I can pick it up pretty cheap, kind of where these arrows are, the candlesticks, I think that's a fair deal, and I think that it's worth the risk. But I'll give you getting into that. I'm going to be talking about AMC and GME this week, and kind of the news going on with that, with shorts and everybody kind of coming to the end of their position. You might see a lot of covering this week, which is very bullish and might be very dangerous for a lot of buyers, but also could be very, very productive for a lot of portfolios. And the insane volatility this week is also something we're going to talk about. And then the stocks I'm looking at, which are Apple, JAGX, and ZOM, and kind of what I'm looking for this week to buy in. With my last video stating just how volatile it is, and how these stocks were down after their earnings report, just blowing it out of the water. So what I'm going to be looking for there to actually find an entering point. And it'll probably be a couple of days down the road because I'm going to wait it out. I don't need to get in anything. But, we've all learned our lessons jumping in right away and then getting burned. So, and if you haven't, well, it's something that you'll learn eventually, trust me. So, yeah, so moving on here. So what I was looking at with DOGE when I was talking in the group me was I was actually looking for 0.02 because I thought that there would be a very, and it actually I almost hit my limit buy almost hit. But there's such a resistance when it comes to like 0.025 or 0.02 or 0.03 that I was like, it's easily worth the risk of coming up. But whenever this was happening, I was thinking about getting in, but I was like, looks like the support level's kind of shrinking, and so I just took off my limit buy just in case we started seeing it drop some more, because that's something you have to look for. And I was also watching the RSI here. But yeah, so I was looking for the consolidation at a base, which seems to be around 0.03. And I ended up getting in with $2,100 today. I wasn't trying to risk it for the biscuit, but I was trying to make a quick flip. So today, I got in for $1,000 at 0.034 and then 0.042 when I sold. I also got in at 0.035. So it was like in what, 16%? I guess you could do the math on that for what it was, but that's I went up about from here to here. So about $500 ish, 400 some odd dollars. But yeah, so I was just looking for this to just stay stable. And once I started seeing this, I'm like, okay, it's going to continue rising for a little bit because it's had these spurts, right, where you see just crazy, for the hour, you could just be flipping this an insane amount, and you could probably make, a good amount of money. But I didn't want to put everything I had in with buying power just because of how risky it was, So it's good to make a play and have a goal in mind, but, you don't want to risk it all, especially on something as crazy as DOGE. But so that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm going to continue looking for. Is this might be the new support line, ish. You start seeing it up here, but I think we're going to start seeing it back down around 0.03 tonight, and I might pick up some more shares and then flip it for another 8%, and that'll be probably where I chill out with it until tomorrow. But yeah, so this has netted me a very, very large sum of money that can really help me out in future investments. So that's something I'm not trying to lose by going all in. And a lot of people have been burned, and you still see people holding from 0.08. And, eventually I do see DOGE going back to that amount, but I don't see it happening soon. And that's just because the hype's over. Elon tweeted about it, right? It got all the hype that it needed from Wall Street Bets, and now you're starting to see it consolidate. which is what you need to see. But a lot of people got burned here, especially new investors. Like, you might want to risk it. Like, I put in a small amount of my portfolio, about 20%, 25%ish, maybe a little bit more than that. But it was only because I saw the hype was rising. And I called Hunter, one of my buddies, for anybody else that's watching this, and I was, I was like, oh my man, my heart's beating out my chest, because I went from, I was up 10K in a day. And for a portfolio starting at 15K, that's a really crazy amount. That's like what you'd see in a year if you traded very well. So that's why I was kind of going crazy. But I did end up selling out, and I was selling out little by little by little. And then once I started seeing a big decrease, it was time to get out. So, yeah, so I did pretty well on that. Looking at AMC and GME this week, going to a different subject, there's a lot of speculation that this is going to be an insane week for AMC and GME. And I say that because the shorts are going to have to cover this week. Are really going to have to cover, because a lot of their short contracts are expiring, and they're going to have to cover. So you might see AMC go to $50 this week in GME. These are high numbers, but I think tomorrow pre-market this might be $16. And I'm thinking about throwing in $1,000 into AMC. And just letting it ride for a couple days. Not throwing in too much, but if I can get another $3,000 out of this and only lose, 500-ish based on the hype, I don't see myself losing more than $500 unless we see like someone with, like several people with tons and tons of money just continue to get out day after day. And I think that it's worth the risk. But for GME, I just won't touch it. But for AMC, I think that based on the amount of covering that has to be done, I think it's like 86% of the stock is shorted. So we're going to see a crazy rise, and at least I believe. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm at. I'm going to throw $1,000 into AMC tomorrow before work and just let it ride. I'm not trying to throw all my money in. I probably won't be putting most of my money in this week, but I will be entering. We'll be taking a look at Apple for the next 4 days. Probably by Thursday, I'll have made my decision on what number I want to get in at. And then I'll be looking at JAGX. And then I'll be looking to increase my position in ZOM. Just because this stock has dropped, mainly based on people in the penny plays wanting to get into all the hype plays, which is understandable. And then you start seeing that people that got in, like I said, at 120 when I made a video on this prior, or 130 even, they're panic selling, which is never good to do, especially if you don't believe in a play, you shouldn't be in. So if you believe in a play, you should continue buying. Voice crack. You should continue buying, or just waiting it out, just holding it until March. Like I said in every video before this, you gotta make a game plan and follow it, right? And pigs are gonna get slaughtered, so you can't get greedy. But yeah, I think GME was also going to be very successful. But I think that the amount of money to be made in AMC this week is far superior to that of GME, just based on if AMC goes to $50 or even $40, that's a 200 some. That's about 200% from where it's at right now on your money. So that'd be up $2,000. And then if you look at GME, people are saying that this might hit $900 this week. It's just more of a risk, but there's about the same money to be made. But yeah, I can't see this going at $900. I don't know, but if it does, good for everybody that's in. It's just something I won't touch. But for AMC, I will, and I'm also going to be placing a limit sell. So whenever I'm in work, if it does get destroyed, then I'll just get out. But it is what it is. So I'm risking my money. And I gotta take whatever happens, but it is what it is. And I'm only going to be entering a small amount of my sum of money into the market, like I said, just based on the volatility and needing to feel out the market this week. Because, like I said, you saw Apple drop with $1 billion in earnings over a quarter. And for those that don't know, there's 4 quarters in a year, so basically one every season for earnings, and they report their earnings. So they made $1 billion of revenue, just over the past 3 months. So yeah, that's about it for this video. But I'm definitely gonna be watching DOGE and probably flipping this again. And people on like I said, people on stock twits, they need to be careful. Like people, like I said before, they're not in this to prove a point really. They're just in this to make money, right? So, that's the stock market, man. We're not in. It's like going in, especially these are more like slot machine bets, right? You have a higher chance, but it's just like, whew, people are like, I get by the dip, but people aren't really looking at the chart. They're just holding, and it's kind of scary. See, like right here, don't be a coward. Well, this guy's just making a meme out of it. But like people that got in up here are probably pretty devastated right now. And I would probably recommend that they get out on another one of these spikes. But it is what it is, man. People are going to do what they want to do. Especially, like I said, new investors are just getting burned. They might have made a lot of money on GMB and then lost it all on Dogecoin, or it might be up a little bit. But if you just got in the hype on DOGE, kind of like what I did, I was watching this week, and you weren't playing it smart and you didn't have a plan, it is what it is, man. So you have a higher chance of just getting burned. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you guys have any stocks you want me to take a look at, or you want the reasoning as to why I'm looking at JAGX or ZOM or even Apple, I can make a video on that, and I'd be more than happy to share with you why exactly I want to put my money in those companies over the next couple months. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. All right, bye.